An 85-pound American bully that 3 shelters refused to adopt planted himself at a baby's crib and wouldn't move for 72 hours straight. What this single mother discovered at 3 a.m. will shatter every assumption you've ever had about the most misunderstood breed on the planet. This is Tank, and this is Emma, the 4-month-old baby girl he protected in ways nobody saw coming. 6 months ago, police raided a backyard breeding operation in South Philadelphia. Tank was chained to a rusted pole, dehydrated, covered in scars, with a neck wound so deep from the embedded chain that it had become infected. He'd been trained as a guard dog, conditioned to be aggressive and left alone for days at a time. The shelter director shook her head. This dog is a liability. 85 pounds of muscle, cropped ears that healed wrong, and a stare that could freeze blood. He's not adoptable. Tank sat in isolation for 7 months while family after family walked past his kennel without slowing down. Then came Jessica Bennett, a 29-year-old single mother barely holding it together. She worked night shifts as a hospital receptionist, lived in a cramped apartment, and had just finalized a brutal divorce. Money was tight, sleep was non-existent, and what scared Jessica more than anything was the thought of something happening to baby Emma while she slept. So Jessica went to the shelter looking for a protector. A staff member mentioned the dog nobody wanted. "He's in the back," the woman said quietly, "but I don't think he's what you're looking for, not with the baby." Jessica walked to the isolation kennels. Tank sat perfectly still in the far corner, his massive frame barely fitting in the small space. He wasn't barking or pacing, he was just staring at her with eyes that looked like they'd given up on everything.
And if you're still here but haven't subscribed yet, you need to see what happens next. Hit that button, because what Tank did will change everything you thought you knew about loyalty. Jessica shifted Emma in her arms. The baby cooed softly, and Tank's ears twitched. For the first time in 7 months, his tail moved, just once. But it moved. "I'll take him," Jessica said quietly. The shelter director pulled her aside. "Ma'am, this dog came from a fighting background. Are you absolutely sure? Your baby is 4 months old." Jessica looked at Tank. Tank looked at Emma. "I'm sure," Jessica said. Her mother's reaction was explosive. "You brought that monster into a house with my granddaughter? That thing was bred to kill." "Mom, stop. He deserves a chance." But Tank came home with rules. He stays in the basement, Jessica told herself, installing 2 heavy-duty baby gates. Emma's nursery is completely off limits. I'll keep them separated. Except Tank had already made a different decision. The first 3 days were strange. Tank didn't eat. He just sat at the bottom of the stairs, staring up toward Emma's nursery, his ears tracking every sound she made. Every time Emma cried, Tank's entire body would go rigid. His paws would shift forward like every cell was screaming at him to go to her. "He's obsessed," Jessica whispered. "He hasn't taken his eyes off her room in hours."
Watch my dog for me real quick, please.
On the 4th night, something changed. Jessica woke at 6:30 a.m. and walked toward the nursery. She froze in the doorway. Tank was inside. He was lying beside Emma's crib, his massive body stretched out like a living barrier. His eyes were open, alert, watching Emma sleep. "Oh my God, Tank, no!" But Tank didn't move. He just looked at her with an expression that said, "I've got her." Emma was fine, peaceful, safe. But Jessica's mind raced. How did he get in here? The gates were still up. The door had been closed. That evening, her mother stopped by. "Jessica, that dog was in Emma's room this morning." "He didn't hurt her, Mom. He was just lying there." Her mother's voice went cold. "Get rid of him before something terrible happens." Derek, her ex-husband, called that night. "You're putting our daughter at risk. Get rid of it or I'm calling CPS." Even neighbors started a petition to have Tank removed, citing dangerous breed concerns. Jessica felt the walls closing in. Maybe everyone's right. Maybe I'm being reckless. She decided to lock Emma's bedroom door at night, just to be safe. But Tank was already 3 steps ahead. Jessica installed a baby monitor with a camera. At exactly 2:15 a.m., Tank stood up, walked to the nursery door, and nudged the child-proof lock with his nose until it clicked open. He pushed the door with his head, stepped inside, and took his position beside Emma's crib. He learned how to open it, but that wasn't the strangest part. Tank wasn't just lying by the crib. Every 30 minutes, he would stand up, lower his head to Emma's chest, and stay perfectly still for 10 seconds. Then he'd lie back down. "What is he doing?" Jessica whispered. She called her veterinarian. "Dr. Patel, Tank keeps checking on Emma, like he's listening to her breathing. Is that normal?" Dr. Patel paused. "Dogs can sense irregular breathing patterns. If Tank is doing what you're describing, he might be detecting something you're not." The words hung in the air like a warning. 2 weeks later, Derek filed paperwork threatening full custody. Jessica's mother issued an ultimatum: "It's him or me." Neighbors called animal control twice in 1 week. Jessica was exhausted, emotionally drained, utterly alone. Maybe everyone else is right, she thought, tears streaming down her face. That night, she made the decision. Tomorrow morning, she'd take Tank back to the shelter. But Tank had other plans. At 3:47 a.m., Jessica woke suddenly. She grabbed her phone and opened the baby monitor app. Tank was standing at full height beside Emma's crib, his body rigid, his ears pinned forward. And then he barked. One sharp, desperate bark, then another, then a third. Jessica bolted out of bed and sprinted down the hallway. She threw open the nursery door. Emma wasn't moving. Her tiny chest was still. Her lips had a faint bluish tint. She wasn't breathing. "Emma!" Jessica screamed, scooping the baby into her arms. Her hands shook as she dialed 911. "My baby, she's not breathing. Please send someone." Jessica began compressions. Tank stood inches away, his eyes never leaving Emma's face. And then Emma gasped. Her chest rose. Her color started returning. The paramedics arrived 4 minutes later and rushed her to the ER. At the hospital, Dr. Mehta pulled Jessica aside. "Your daughter had a severe apneic episode. If she'd gone another 2 to 3 minutes without intervention..." She paused. "How did you know to check on her?" Jessica's voice cracked. "I didn't. Tank did. He's been monitoring her breathing every night." Dr. Mehta said quietly, "That dog may have just saved your daughter's life."